Guess what game I picked?
Gee, I wonder. Was it Little Big Adventure?
Yes.
That's the Garfield
I
font.
believe you got it in one. Wait, what?
The font on that said loading, that was the font Garfield used. Never mind.
Oh, damn it. I'm gonna have to check that when I get home.
These fonts are all over the place. We've got Arial Narrow now, underneath ancient... whatever you'd call that.
Times Ancient Roman.
So, we are playing Dink Smallwood.
Yes, the original, briefly sold and then pretty quickly freeware.
Yeah, I first played it as freeware.
Yes, I thought... it is quite homemade. It has a very, sort of homemade feel to it.
So we're breaking up all the shitting on my old homemade games, shitting on someone else's homemade games.
Yeah, this is actually a good one for that, too, because it's sort of...
Still better graphics than I was doing at the time.
You might know. Well, this looks like it was made out of old bits of the original Fallout engine.
It is wearing the pre-render flag and flying it pretty high, isn't it?
Just a little mutanty. And look, there's some funny dialogue.
Yeah, that's what I remember about this game. You can punch pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a funny line.
Yeah, it's another one of those games that you can tell they started out with loads of energy.
Yeah,
And then...
Yes, it's budget Ultima 7.
Yeah, and then kind of stopped giving two shits about halfway through.
So fill us in on the plot of this lovely game. And don't smack your chops.
We are... there's Midler, the dick. Well, I'm pig farmer Dink Smallwood with big dreams, and my mum's made me go feed the pigs.
Yes.
And apparently there's sort of a grim evil hovering over the world.
Of course there is.
At the moment, that grim evil is named Midler, the jerk, or Milder. I can't
Milder.
remember.
It said Milder.
Milder. Okay, it's Milder.
You blind bastard. That was an awkwardly typed bit of laughter. Bah-wah-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha. Hey, those pigs are escaping.
Yeah, can't have any of that.
Hey, don't kill the pigs. They're your friendly pigs.
I want bacon. Come to me.
Yeah, this has that indie game weird mixture of tones, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, just, back in the old days, we could just throw some violence in and people will like it.
Well, that's it. I mean, we talked about this on, Space Quest. Because no one had thought to get angry at video games for any reason, they could just do stuff like incredibly gory sequences.
Nobody cared back then. It was a pleasant time.
I think in this case, though, it's like that indie spirit of,
This is, yeah.
just throw it all in. And there's only 5 different character models, I remember that.
Yes.
So we'll be seeing a lot of all of these.
Yeah. Dink being the most impressively...
Well, yes, he has to be distinct. He has to wear the green hose and the upturned bowl on his head.
Has more than 4 walk directions. I think some of them only have 2. They just sort of have the same strange diagonal walk, but horizontally.
I noticed Milder entered the scene diagonally and then just sort of walked into the wall for a few seconds.
Yeah. Because doing anything else is an awful lot of work.
Ooh, dialogue trees.
Yeah.
I wonder what plot branches those will take us down.
One takes us to an interesting, fruitful adventure. The other ends the conversation and gets you back to where you can take the interesting, fruitful adventure.
Okay. Punch that man.
I think I'll do a bit later.
Punch him now.
Punch him right in the daughter.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not allowed to go up there. Yeah. I think she's on a Menzies or something.
Oh.
But it starts fairly dry. It kind of gets really... again, the size of it and the pacing of it's sort of weird, because it feels like it's going to be sort of a larger adventure, and then it just truncates really brutally at the end.
Yeah, it's doing the...
Party in this house.
It's doing the fairly standard hero's journey bit at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of highlights...
We're a pig farmer, which is like being Luke Skywalker, except with pigs. And something's gonna happen that will make us pursue the path of the hero.
Da-na-na-na.
I'm trying to remember. Does, yell at the duck.
That's the bit that works, too. That's the best part.
Your mum dies, doesn't she?
Yeah, we get an Aunt Beru moment.
Yeah, thought as much.
You suck, little duck guy.
Oh, yes. Again, that's an indie spirit sort of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm guessing that's a save point.
What an odd conclusion to come to. It's funny, too, because Dink actually is aware of the machine being there.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few. It does that kind of
it's
mid
just-
90s fourth wall stuff.
It's always been there. What, your town doesn't have a glowing alien artifact that fell from space?
That lets you essentially reset time to the last point you touched it.
Hmm.
It's fantastic. It's like a controllable Groundhog Day.
We keep it near the well. Oh, you're getting dissed.
Hey.
And now they're all
Don't
talking.
worry.
This conversation's like being in IRC. Chuckles in triangular brackets.
Yeah, it is. Back before like all the shorthand started to creep in. People would still write out chuckles.
Yep, this is starting off pretty dry. And
It only gets drier.
And I note this is another 3-hour video you've graced us with.
We should like break it up and do like your action games. We're gonna get some nuts.
Possibly. Well, I'm not dividing this into 3 videos. Fuck you. You can have 2 videos and like it.
You can endure, audience.
I got a lot of my shitty games to get through.
So this is the HD version, which came out on like phones and stuff.
Okay.
Magic Dwarf.
Did you get this off like good old games or something?
No, it's free.
It is still free.
Yeah.
Still free in HD.
Yeah.
H-free.
You gotta.
even.
You have to pay for it if you want it on phones, which is like it's like $1 or something.
Well, yes.
But yeah, you just go to the website, which is still up amazingly. Like it's the same website that's been there forever.
They should consider going the free-to-play model. It seems to work for a lot of people.
Yeah, just you can pay for extra life and attack ups and stuff.
Yes, I'm not sure I like the model where the player could potentially lose track of how much money they've spent on the game, like that whole life thing does.
Well, yeah, when the possible expenditure of the in-game purchases exceeds any sane price the game could be sold for.
Yeah, I think the model of play it for free but pay $1 to get rid of ads and maybe unlock some more content.
Well, Killer Instinct,
that works for me.
Ad supported, I'm not bothered by. Killer Instinct has done it reasonably well, where it's free to play, but if you want to get all the characters, it costs about as much as a game where all the characters would cost anyway.
Insects. Fling your fist at them like you're trying to detach
Kill
it
bugs.
from your arm.
Yeah. And this is the tried and tested combat system of Dink Smallwood, and strangely enough, the Game Boy Advance Dragon Ball Z games.
You punch the thing
and walk away. Yeah,
walk away.
It's that sort of real time punch walk.
I'd say it's kind of 2D Zelda-y.
Except there's no stun animations or knockback or anything.
Yeah, so you just have to keep getting out of the way.
Yeah, and that can be really, really fucked, because sometimes you get sort of just stuck in an enemy and with a hurt cycle going. It's like, and then you're dead.
Fun fact, insect's blood is usually transparent. If you see red blood when you squash an insect, it's probably the blood of something the insect has been feeding off. So that pill bug's been attached to a few young ladies' throats recently, I'll wager.
That explains all the dead girls. Oh.
Hey!
Milda Flatstomp.
He's a douche. He's a douche jock. You should punch him.
Yeah. I just beat up bugs, Milda.
Yeah.
This is another one of those things where they start out like a sort of subplot that they then just completely ignore.
He's a cartoonishly jockish man. No woman of mine goes to work.
How dare you have an opinion?
Now will now crab walk away.
Chicks.
And so will I. I will
in the
crab
same
walk
direction.
in pursuit. Walk this way.
He's going the other way.
If I could walk that way.
That's Young Frankenstein, isn't it?
Well, I first heard it on Monty Python.
Huh, I wonder which was first. So yeah, the Milda and his lady friends, and like, 'cause it sort of starts with sort of Dink having a sort of romance subplot is looking like it's going to be a big part of the game, and then it's just not.
Of course not. Can't have no chicks. We got bugs to punch.
Punch bug.
And now, like, for several copy-pasted fires are tearing your
and
home
some
apart.
explosions. These are the HD fires.
Oh no.
Mum looks pretty dead.
She's bleeding horribly. She must have pricked herself on the fire.
Razor Fire. Sounds like a third-rate 80s action film.
Yeah, a bit too much smoke, a bit too much fire as well, Dinky, mate.
Aww. Couldn't save her because I suck.
I couldn't save her because I'm useless and not a hero yet. I'm only level 1. It's not your fault, Dink. Yes, it is.
The levels in this are also peculiarly pointless too, because you get to upgrade, you get to add 1 point to each of your attack, defense, and magic, like to one of them, every time you go up a level.
Later, several hours later after everyone had left and Dink remained in precisely the same position.
Standing just... It was probably the fireplace's fault,
yes,
too.
take it out on that fireplace.
Yeah,
also, your mum, who didn't get the fire under control while it was still manageable.
She passed out drunk again.
Stupid.
So sad.
That's why she burned so quickly.
She was pre-soaked.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't like to do it in front of you, but everyone knew. Everyone was saying to themselves, if that house ever burnt down, it'll burn down with a blue flame.
Yep. She popped.
Oh, how convenient. Her letter's just arrived. I like to think this is like weeks later. We've just been living on the floorboards, sucking on mother's ashes for nourishment.
Eating bits of mum.
Well, she's quite well barbecued now. Give her a chance to try out that hot sauce we got for Christmas.
Made from Pillblog. I'm so young and suffering.
The plot is currently being straight.
Yeah. Again, it starts very... This is going to be, the direction the plot's going, and then quickly just sort of stops giving a fuck.
So usually in the hero's journey, there'll be some kind of clearer idea of what the bigger threat is at this point. Usually the hero is in some way victimized by the big threat at the start, but that doesn't seem to have been the case. Just victimized by our alky mum.
There's a lesson to be learned from that.
And what are you going to do with all those nuts, Dink? Because you haven't eaten them in the weeks that have passed.
Ultimate people, I suppose. And there's the map. Look, stuff.
I'm not sure I agree with showing the whole map at the start of the game.
Areas are blocked off for various reasons until you
Should have put some fog of war up there.
Accomplish various tasks.
Add an exploration element and shit.
Well, you still have to, you still have to walk around. And areas are blocked off. Like, I couldn't get to Ferris earlier because,
Beulah?
Yes. Because... Terrace, sorry. I thought it was Ferris. What's the word? There's a bridge out, obviously, which will not be fixed until I do something that has no relationship to fixing a bridge.
Yes, it's a complex word, that. Bridge. I can see why you forgot it momentarily.
I was thinking river crosser dealy. The wizard's seen once and then never again and has no more relationship to the rest of the plot.
He teaches you fire, doesn't he?
Yeah, he teaches me Hadouken, and he's been expecting me.
But you've got 0 magic.
That's also the only time you see that sprite, to my knowledge.
Yeah, that's strange. I mean, there's a couple of other sprites that's only used once.
Yeah, probably... I think about 2. There's 2 other sprites that get used once.
And some of those are just another sprite that's been slightly edited.
Yeah, or just a still image, really. Peeking through my windows, yes. Get my secret jollies watching magic dwarves touch themselves at night.
Not a whole lot of avenue for visual humour, so we're just going to have to make do with overwritten dialogue, I'm afraid.
So, but you're feeling better about yourself now. Other people did this.
Nah, this doesn't look like it was drawn by a 4-year-old. Looks like a 4-year-old...
This uses graphics.
Looks like a 4-year-old put it together on their first day of 3D modelling class. Just borrowed a load of bottles from some kind of online archive. And then some rectangles for a table.
Important skinned rectangles.
Well, but
look tabley.
Look at all those leaves all over that menu. It's almost a bit muddy, the graphics.
Yeah.
Everything sort of clashes together.
There's a lot of that.
Not like me and my bright primary colours and pixely black outlines.
That catch the eye and draw attention to where it's needed.
Exactly. It's always more important to be immediately noticeable. You should always leave your house wearing lobster pyjamas and a
giant
fez.
Top hat. A giant top hat with a cage in the top with 4 birds of paradise in it.
No, a fez. I already said.
A fez with a kid
Yours
in it.
would just be stupid.
Okay, so here's the thing about leveling up. You mostly get all your attack, defense, and magic level ups just in potions lying around because they didn't fill the game with quests or anything that would actually sort of drive the levels up enough in order to...
Yeah, that's a sort of... We were hoping this game would be longer sort of feature to add, isn't it?
Yeah, because to give you an example, like, it's the insane fucking... It's 100 points to get to level 2. That seems fair.
Yeah.
By the end, it's like 8,000, and it is...
Yeah, it just doubles every time, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's not easy to level up.
It's the old Chinese wise man in the chessboard issue, isn't it?
Which one's that?
Yeah, that story about, probably apocryphal, where a man went to an emperor and said he'd solve his problem in return for a chessboard with 1 grain of rice on the first square, 2 grain of rices on the next square, 4 on the next, 8 on the next, 16 on the next, and so on until the chessboard is filled. And the emperor
ran out of rice.
Said, sure, sounds good. That we can probably accommodate you with rice there. But by the last square, it'll be something ridiculous, like more rice than the human race can produce if they turned over every planet in the solar system to rice cultivation.
Exponential, isn't it?
Yes, it's like in mathematical terms, you express it as a number followed by an exclamation mark, I think.
Huh.
I think that's it. I mean, that's how. I mean, 52 exclamation mark is the number of different combinations a deck of cards can have, and the number is bigger than the number of atoms in the universe.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing with chess. There are the number of potential chess combinations is just...
Yeah, you don't need that much to have effectively infinite possibilities. Punch the duck.
Yeah, I was trying to punch the duck.
I see you staring at the duck.
Well, because I forgot I didn't have punch equipped. Now the bridge is there, but I don't have any money.
That duck's running around like a headless...
bug.
Turducken.
Duck turding.
Oh, imagine if a turducken came back to life while you were making it. But what have you done to us? We're a freak. We're like the...
That bug can talk. Better stomp on it.
What's the word meaning related to birds? Is it... avian?
Yes.
Yes. We are the avian centipede, the turducken will say to you. Are you going to destroy this bug now?
This bug's a tricky bug.
Oh yes, he's a special bug. He says, oh god! That bug's got tricks up its bug sleeve. Up its several...
bug sleeves.
Its several bug sleeves. I beg to differ, Mr. Bug.
Yeah.
For you see, I can run diagonally.
Oh yeah, I've got 8 walk directions.
Isometric, bitch.
And I can punch. You have to hope to scoot over. That's the only thing that makes the combat in this game feasible is the bumblefuck useless AI.
Yay! Now we add one insignificant point.
Insignificant point. It is... The leveling up system in this game is completely useless.
Now you can hit them for 4 and 5.
Yeah, 5 occasionally if I'm lucky.
That's a crit. Oh, that was a 3. I guess not much has changed at all.
And when you're fighting actual monsters that fight back, it becomes just so much of a hassle.
Yeah, I remember playing through this and the fucking grind, which I'm hoping you've cut out.
I cut out a big chunk of the late grind, yes.
Good.
Both videos were actually originally 2.5 hours long. The original, like, so it was split into 2 halves, and then I was like, okay, I'm fixing this. Some of the early grinding I kept in because it shows you different monsters in different areas and different locations. The late grinding I fucking got rid of though, because it was just, what do I have to do? Well, you're in this one little area, you have nothing else to do but get $5,000.
Sex the lady.
I try, but this is all completely pointless. None of this comes up later, none of this does a thing.
Sex that lady sprite.
I wanna get freaky.
Think you would understand, it's a diagonal thing.
There's the problem, his penis is one diagonal, her vagina is another.
Yeah,
you can't just wedge that thing in perpendicular.
It's like duck vaginas.
They're a weird circumstance, the duck. If your species' female vagina starts adapting to defend itself from your penis, your species is going down a fucked up path.
This is becoming a duck-centric video. What's your favourite cartoon duck?
Daffy.
I was going to say Darkwing.
Huh. Let's get dangerous.
Hmm.
I like Daffy just because I always, he's got a good sense of humor and he's kind of a tragic figure.
Yes, he was the comedy foil
Mm.
to Bugs Bunny's all-knowing trickster figure.
And the one time he did have an act better than Bugs, it was his own death.
In many ways, Daffy was the blind Hod to Bugs' Loki. I'm not sure what that makes Elmer Fudd. I guess he's one of the dwarves.
Smells damp in here. The quick save and quick load are kind of useful.
It's not quick save, it's in a menu. Quick save is one button.
It can be menu activated.
No, it can't.
Why?
Quick save is a key, you just smash it.
Yeah.
When I was playing Black Mesa Source, I bound that to tab. Because that game is a bit stupid on the difficulty side.
Is that the...
Yeah, it's the remake of Half-Life 1 in the Half-Life 2 engine. And the soldiers in that game can...
Really fuck your day.
Yeah, they can aim from 10 miles away. Perfectly.
With pistols and shit.
Do you think that duck and the monster live together? Do you think,
think
it's like a sort of... Oh, what the hell?
That's the broker attacking.
Do you think it's a sort of Gobi and pistol shrimp relationship? The duck looks out for incoming threats.
The duck cleans him too, like sits in his mouth and pecks away at the bits of dead person. Yeah, I thought the duck might be something, because they do hide a lot of funny little secrets in this game from time to time.
Kill the duck.
That's me moving the mouse when we're out of the way.
This rock texture has made you angry and homicidal.
Rocks!
We're used to the green.
Beat the shit out of a duck.
Little
I
brain
do want to
fart
fight
there.
a goose.
Why do you want to fight a goose, you terrible man?
Because they're really just aggressive and horrible.
I'm pretty sure they couldn't last long against a human using all his defensive strength.
No, that's the weird thing though, is like people flip out when a goose attacks them.
Well, they're probably worried if they kill it that they will in some way have committed treason against the Queen. Or is that swans?
I think it's swans. Or it might even be, peacocks.
Okay then. The Queen is the only one who's allowed to eat swans, fact fans.
I hope she still does that. I hope the Queen takes advantage of all these insane things.
Well, you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you
I mean,
practically have to.
if you don't exercise a right, they might take it away from you, don't they?
Yeah.
She probably doesn't even like swan.
Doesn't know. Chokes it down, just to...
It's like, Mother, I'm afraid I'm not feeling up to the swan today. Shut up! Shut up, Charles! You'll eat your swan! With the feathers still on, because that's how we do it in the posh circles.
We're inbred and fucking insane.
And if anyone expresses a request for the feathers to be removed, we'll be very condescending at them for the rest of the meal. Would you also like your gazpacho warmed up?
You fool.
Perhaps you'd like to have a couple of bin bags full of Monster Munch instead of the digger station we'd had planned.
What's Monster Munch? I'm guessing that's a British cereal.
Yes, it's a maize snack. The thing that gets sold alongside crisps, but isn't crisps.
So yeah, just nondescript carbohydrate with flavoring.
Blah-de, 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 blah. Pickled onion Monster Munch. Classic.
I do enjoy pickled onions. I enjoy pickled anything. Like, you could drown a cat in vinegar and I'd probably eat it.
Hey! Dosh!
Money!
I'm sure that will go a long way. Those 200 coins.
That's the other thing about this game is the complete lack of balance between what things cost and how much gold you sort of generally pick up by wandering about.
This strikes me as an in-game economy that wasn't tested too much.
Nope.
Oh, sorry, I thought.
Nope, it's gotta go the whole way around.
And that will get faster as we level up.
Yes, the magic skill gets to the point where I can start just whacking those out fast enough, because magic's also bound to the shift key, so...
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of times where the computer goes, hey, you've pushed shift several times, would you like to turn on those fuck-off irritating
What's the
keyboard
problem,
commands?
Dink? Step over that rock.
Bored.
That's a Whoa, that slime's kicking your ass.
Yeah, that. This is how quickly shit can just go pear-shaped in Dink Smallwood.
It's one of those, you can go to this area if you want, but you will get your shit pushed in if you haven't leveled up.
Yeah, there's no sort of
arrangements.
Beyond the hard barriers, there's barriers of just...
Someone didn't save.
No. I left this one in. The rest I edited out. I died so... There are some fights that are just so fucking
Why did
bullshit.
it lose 100 health from that one hit?
No, the yellow is the experience points I get.
Oh.
Yes. I was a bit confused about that at the first, too.
Might want to set a flag so that the message saying that Dink has a bad feeling about that cave doesn't trigger as you're leaving it, as well as when you're entering it.
I have a great feeling about this cave. I just beat something up. Now I feel big. Take that, Boca. Whatever you are, monster.
I would have appreciated that as a joke. If you walked in and said, I have a bad feeling about this cave, and then you kill the monster, and as you're leaving it goes, I have a much better feeling about this cave now.
I won.
I think I might move my stuff in here.
Yeah, fucking my cave now. I'm the monster of the cave.
Yeah.
Beware of Dink. Roar!
I will be the story parents tell to their children to keep them in line at night.
Behave, or Dink will come for you.
Don't touch your winkle at night, or the
Winkle.
Dinkle will come and take your winkle.
For his wall of winkles. Look at them jiggle in the moonlight.
So, do you think the guy being called Dink Smallwood is an intentional innuendo?
What makes you think that?
Just wondering.
I just... No, scoot through. Yeah, I got magic again, and 200 money.
Yeah, as I said, it's got that very indie vibe of sort of low sophistication game that also wants to have like very adult humor and stuff.
Now I save it.
And violence.
Well, again, like, you know, lots of games were just arbitrarily violent back, you know, in the 90s.
An animation.
Yep. You can discover secrets by burning down certain trees. Some are really obvious.
Yes. That, too, is a very early Zelda sort of thing.
Mm.
Now, burn the fire. Okay, that did twice as much damage as your fist. Which is still not a whole lot.
Fireball's kind of useful, but it's, at this point, so slow to recharge, or it's just, haha, take that, you fucking sentient puddle.
You killed the slime. Presumably it killed itself out of pity after watching you flail helplessly at the air directly above it for several minutes.
Yeah, see, now the tree blocking my path over to Scenic Here is
Are you supposed to be in Scenic Here yet? I'm not sure you are.
Scenic Here is not so bad. This is one of the earlier Scenic Heres you can get to because it's the first one you can unlock with the fireball.
Come to Scenic Here for your next holiday. Here you'll enjoy the same tree, copy-pasted 80 billion times. And a giant exploding gold heart, which we managed to remove from the Grinch's chest just in time.
Health and shit.
If he'd kept it in there, it would have burst out of him like the alien.
And run off and turn into a giant nightmarish heart monster.
It's not healthy for your heart to grow 3 sizes all at once. That will cause major issues with your circulatory system immediately.
Yeah. Ask Andre the Giant. There's a few weird examples. Oh, I want to go to that island. I know.
You want to be there.
That's the party island of goodies. I'm not allowed to get there yet, though, and the things that they put in the way of there fucking suck.
I can imagine. Well, it seems like an easy game to just run away from the monsters.
Yeah, there are certain...
I'm a cobbler stroke pharmacist.
I make drug shoes!
I chose my 2 majors by picking them at random from the catalogue.
I would like to see someone do that.
Now I'm trying to make the best of it.
Yeah, so he sells you, Scooty boots.
Scooty boots?
Yeah, they basically... They take the place of any weapon you've got equipped, but they make you move really fast and punch really fast. So there's actually a few monsters and a few situations that it's just way better to use that than the better sword you have, because you can just run up and basically 100-hand slap the monster and it dies.
But why does wearing shoes make your punch faster?
Because they're made out of meth.
Being able to run faster with magic shoes, that makes all the sense in the world.
Perfect sense. I believe that's the plot of at least 18 teenage basketball movies.
Yes, but they stop working in the big game, don't they?
And then it turns out that the power was within you all along.
Except not. Turns out the power was in the shoes and you're shit.
You're crap.
Why are you
without your
here?
Performance-enhancing drugs. Get off the team. Nobody likes you.
Stop smacking your chops.
I don't know why the mouse cursor appeared there. No, that's not yours. That's
I thought.
Well, now you've paused it. There we go.
Don't worry.
No one will notice.
No one will notice that we're like a 1 second behind the whole game for the rest of this whole video.
Hey, look at those ducks. Look at that duck. Yeah,
Yes,
so now I've got money so I can get across the bridge.
Money, money, money. Give it to a douchebag.
There's no way you could get across that creek otherwise.
Could you not have grinded gold anywhere?
Nothing on this side drops gold yet.
You know, I wasn't sure if it was grinded gold or ground gold. They both sound wrong. It's like when you're talking about having multiple computer mice. Do you say mice or mouses? Again, they both sound wrong.
I'm pretty sure it's mice.
But then, you would say that, wouldn't you? Because you always take the easy way out.
It's like how the plural of fruit is fruit. And the plural of beef is actually beeves.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
You can't have a plural of beef. Beef's already plural. It's like sheep.
It's an archaic. It's not used anymore.
Beeves just sounds like you're taking the piss.
One of those is actually a lie, one of them is true.
Okay.
So it's either fruit or beeves.
I don't actually care that much.
These are the little things that tell you sort of what's... They're essentially the closest thing you get to a guide of what to do.
Right.
Which the game really doesn't have much of. You just sort of stumble around finding hero-y shit to point yourself at. I mean, at the moment, you gotta go find your,
Hey! I
fucking
think
infestation.
you're gonna find your new insect family, I think you're about to say.
Yeah. Fireball! Punch!
Boy, I'm looking forward to when you can one-shot these guys. That will make this more expedient.
Then there's just other things I have to repeatedly punch and scoot out of the way of. At this point, I'm like desperately trying to level up in a naive belief that that's gonna help me.
I was going to say, you missed in a really obnoxious way there.
Don't worry, I miss a bunch later.
Oh, hey, that bug's kicking your ass. You going to take that?
Yeah. Like, really, any reference to hit detection in this game should just come with a question mark. Because it is so fucking haphazard. Like, there are monsters later, like giants, in sort of one of the later regions, that are just absolutely painful to deal with, because just corners of them that don't graphically relate to where you are whatsoever just start doing damage.
Well, that's isometric for you, isn't it?
And like... Really...
Giants? Are they... Was Skyrim stealing from this, then?
Thieves!
Hey, someone shot the bed.
That's a healthy poo.
Why?
Poo's call.
Why is your house a pig pen? Are you autistic, Dink Smallwood?
Fucking disgusting.
They don't care, we are poor. That's a pretty simplistic logic you're working off there. You know, I'd love to
99%.
You know, I'd love to give money to every single poor person in the world, make them less poor, but you'd be onto a hiding to nothing there.
You'd be like Zimbabwe with its $1 trillion notes.
We need to teach people how to get into the not poor mindset.
Pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
Instead of thinking, I hate eating dry rat shit for breakfast.
Put it with milk, it goes great.
Just
bit of sugar.
Just say to yourself, what a delicious bowl of Cocoa Pops. Gold-encrusted diamond Cocoa Pops that I bought from the very expensive shop.
Cocoa Poops or Poo-Poo Pops?
Thank you, Mr. Pun Maestro. Thank you for your input.
Poo-Poo.
Oh, this is Evil Stepdad, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're getting all the character fairy tale traits going on.
I'm a douchebag. How do you know my wife? How dare you?
Stop talking to that wall, dear.
He's drunk again.
Yes, he's, someone challenged him, saying that he was too drunk to be able to see a wall with 2 tries.
You can tell he's a hillbilly.
And he's out to prove them wrong, and he'll do it by the end of the day.
There's actually some reasonably funny shit that happens with these two, and then
You keep saying that.
you can level up on Jack.
Punch Jack.
Yeah, I decided to... And, okay, so you see how it says autosave? I have no idea where those saves went. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the quick save, because I've tested that.
It's like save games in like Steam and browser games now. Those save games are just drifting off to some mystical land somewhere on your hard
The
drive.
first time, like, the Earth's first quantum computer is turned on, they'll just all be in a file there.
Oh, he's got a 100-hand slap of his own.
Wife punching! Then the apology.
Super secret domestic violence technique.
I've seen that episode of Naruto.
No one can stop my domestic violence battle. You thought that was my only attack. I'll have you know I've got the domestic violence ultra slap as well.
Isn't even my final domestic violence form.
Yeah, sick of all these domestic violence forms. The social workers keep bringing them over.
Yeah, so you can tell him, you can encourage him to hit the wife again. Just like, she was talking lip about you. Guess he was talking lip about you, my bitch wife. Yeah, go knock some law into her. It's just this. Don't worry, I balance the books after this act of absolute evil.
That is a pretty autistic approach to things.
Wife misbehave, strike wife. There we go.
Oh, good one, Jack. Oh wait, my conscience is pricking me.
Yeah,
now I'm going to punch you again.
I'm not. I'm a terrible person.
Man, they're going over the board.
Yeah.
Oh wait, my second personality just kicked in.
I've just had a dark moment of the soul.
Oh, now you've gone done it.
Yeah,
I'm going to chase you slowly around the room.
Yeah, the good thing is he's got, like, drunk walk, so I can just basically scoot around and duke at him.
He should have burned with a blue flame as well.
Oh!
Yep.
Fireball. Oh, that's right, Fireball hasn't charged up yet.
Welcome to Dink Smallwood, everyone.
I don't think he has an attack, like, just touching him, just your health goes down.
You hit the door frame.
No, here's where it... Yeah, I get him stuck, and it's like he can't touch me, but I can sort of just...
You exploiter. I'll have you banned from this server.
Why I oughta... It's about the only way to beat certain enemies in certain areas, is just to hide behind a bit of tree.
Well, yes.
Or get the enemies fighting amongst themselves, that's another. Ow.
He's kicking your ass.
Yeah. Well, he does 10 damage each time.
He's taking you like the bitch you are, Smallwood.
Hide behind table, punch over table.
See, this is the kind of thing that you wouldn't get away with on today's internet. The domestic violence subplot, played for laughs.
I like, even though it's expressly a choice of the player and not a condoned element of the game.
Dink, what have you done?
It's obviously encouraging domestic violence. It's okay.
I'm here now.
Yeah, if anything, it encourages you to beat up domestic violence people.
I know, I was encouraging him earlier, but that was mean, Dink.
That was like 5 whole minutes ago. That's
get
why do you
over
live in
it.
the past? It's just fuck Jesus.
Now
Making me so angry I should hit you.
Now make my bed and dig a shallow grave.
No reason. See, a save machine in your bedroom, that's convenient.
Yeah, it's like having an ensuite.
And then you can do this for creepy reasons.
I remember I was in Mount Tambourine this weekend.
Ew.
Very bed and breakfasty sort of area. I was staying
is.
I was staying in a little
It's a lovely area, actually.
hotel-y, resorty place. But I saw one like smaller bed and breakfast, and on the sign where it gives you the selling points for all the rooms, the selling points were color TV and cozy fire.
Wow.
And that's the sort of thing that makes me wonder what they've omitted.
Giant cockroach watching colour TV.
Yeah, no air conditioning, no beds.
Unspeakable horror.
Sometimes I see those
Colour
hotels.
television, that's fascinating.
Hotels advertising colour televisions. They always seem so very quaint. Wi-Fi? What's that?
What is Wi-Fi?
Yes, we live on a mountain.
It's a CRT TV that still picks up signals from 1987 somehow. Alright, this should have been edited out. I don't know why
Yes,
this
I
is
think
in
you should have done that, hadn't you?
Any minute now, Dinky.
When you're ready, Gabe. Past Gabe. I will have to transmit my thoughts through the past. Pick up, Bart.
See, this is why this happened. I got distracted by weird extra thoughts. There we go. There we go. Off we go, champ.
There we go.
Probably me looking at an FAQ or something.
I'm sure.
Because God knows I didn't want to just bumble through this.
What's the next step on the critical path?
You have to go to Curson. You have to commit genocide at one point.
Of course you do.
Yeah, there's no real justification for that.
Because they're monsters.
They're kind of nice monsters.
They're different to us.
Yeah,
punch, punch,
that.
punch, punch.
Oh, that's right. I'm rescuing Nadine.
Who?
She was the poor girl that nobody cared about.
Oh, yeah. Hey, some friends.
Yeah.
You missed.
Yeah. This is where we get the screen locking too, so I'm kind of stuck here until I bop them. Although, if you get them angry by punching them and then they walk into each other, they do attack each other.
It's alright, they only exist in the diagonal dimension. They cannot touch you.
That and the slow ones have like the wonkiest fucking attacks.
I feel like you're underleveled.
Pretty much.
Yeah. This could have used some gameplay balancing.
That's the thing, like, the idea is you're meant to... I mean, I don't know if you're meant to, I think they just did it as a fix, is wander about and just discover the attack up potions and shit like that.
Yeah, well, exploration and all that.
Yeah.
But it's nice if the background is varied enough to make exploration interesting.
It isn't! It's not.
Why is the screen locked?
It's not, because you have to kill the monsters, because this is kind of the closest thing to a dungeon that the game puts out until sort of the end.
I see. It's the
Dicks.
Zelda dungeon philosophy.
Yeah.
Gonna close off the room until you kill everything in it. Because the gods are judging to see if we're the perfect hero, and the perfect hero is a pest controller on top of everything else.
We haven't been able to get rid of the little monstery things in this room. Can you just be a deer and just, like, slaughter all of them, please? Imagine if regular rooms just had, like, a cat in a cage in the middle.
I don't get why...
Not going to open until you killed it.
I don't get why only the legendary prophesied hero would know how to kill some monsters and solve a reflect the light beams puzzle.
I think it's because he's the only one that was, like, dumb enough to try and get into the... Like, that's from playing Zelda games, is a lot of them is just nobody tries to get into this place because it's cursed or evil or...
No one's ever gotten as far as you have, because we live on a leper colony.
Because you're not the chosen vessel, the empty face upon which the audience projects itself. He's a lot like, Tom Cruise in that respect.
Slow down, kid.
I'm not as fast as you.
I'll whip you so hard, why I oughta.
I love you, you love me.
90s reference.
Appropriate for this game. I think this game was 97. When did you... There we go. And then I decided to get the fuck out of Dodge. Clearly I'm not meant to be in there yet.
Well, I was making games before 97, but they were pretty shit.
Was that one of the ones we've played, or is that one of the lost ones?
Well, Rob Blanc was 99, I think I remember saying.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So it would have been... What were... So...
Well, before then would have been the Arthur Yahtzee games. Which I made in Visual Basic at high school.
Did your high school chums play it?
Yes.
What did they think?
They thought it was super duper.
Look at that, I got 106, like, I want a sword. Shit.
Because, we weren't technically allowed to play video games in the school IT room, but because, a student had made these games, they could play them under the guise of testing them for the student.
Yeah.
As part of the extracurricular activity.
What an industrious chap.
Yes, so there was a couple of people making adventure games, and they'd be quite often played in the room, for want of anything else to play.
We had the text adventure of Hitchhiker's Guide on the school computers, and that was it. That was all we were allowed to touch.
Well, they probably thought if they let the kids play that, they'd immediately be soured to the concept of games forever.
Well, ostensibly it was because they taught you to type.
Oh, right, yeah.
That was the stated reason.
It's probably why they didn't have, like, Zorg, because, I don't know, teachers you had to type nonsense words, like Zizzy and Resrov.
Oh, that game.
I noticed there's trees from two completely different climates, either side by side here.
Yeah, that's what someone was going to bring up earlier. There's a weird thing in this game of insanely conspicuous shit that does nothing.
Yeah.
Like, later on there are just mushrooms, and they're the only time you ever see these mushrooms, and I swear to God they were going to have something to do with something.
Yeah, I remember that.
They just don't. They're just sort of there. And you'll see me walk up and I'm like, okay, that's a thing, because obviously it's a fucking thing, because it's the only version of that you've seen in the fucking game.
Yeah, because Little Big Adventure had mushrooms that looked pretty similar. And they had shit in them.
Yeah, these ones don't. They
had hearts and things to use after you ran into a wall for the 50th time that day.
Get healed.
Still, I quite admire the commitment to a realistic depiction of what happens if you run at full sprint into a wall.
I don't think I've played Little Big Adventure.
You do your head in, is the answer.
That's kind of something I'm surprised I haven't seen on the internet yet, is just somebody put their head down and run full speed into a wall.
Oh, I'm sure it's somewhere.
I might Google that when I get home. That can be my little afternoon treat for me.
I guess it depends how you arrange your head.
Yeah.
Because if you get, like, brow first, you could probably get through something pretty solid with that.
Which would be impressive in and of... Like, you know, succeed or fail, it's going to be an interesting video.
Well, you know, when you talk about being impressed by something, there are different flavors of being impressed.
Well, not the same impressed as like, I cured cancer. It's like, oh wow, this is just kind of...
I'm impressed you're still alive.
Yeah.
But somehow, on the other hand, I also don't think that you would have been any great loss to the world.
No.
I mean, at this point, you're impressive in the same way that, you know, a dog that managed to successfully chew off its own leg without registering any pain receptors is sort of impressive.
And not for any reason either. Like, it wasn't in a trap, it was just bored.
No.
I like your leg.
My brain is telling me that something's hurting. I better continue chewing on this leg. Just in case it will help.
Yeah. The thing that's biting me is obviously attached to this leg, so I should just keep chewing it off.
Now it's hurting me even more. That must mean I'm not chewing it hard enough.
I will win this fight.
Oh hey, it stopped hurting. Wait, why can't I stand up?
The floor's broken.
Yes, I'm just gonna bark at the floor and try to bite it for being an asshole. I'm a really thick dog in this riff.
Some of them are, though, man. One of my second cousins had a dog called Jazz.
I met such a cute puppy this morning.
Where were you with puppies? Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was sitting on a bench out in the open, and one walked past.
Just
and,
sitting on a dog bench.
I went up to me and I stroked its head, and the owner said, "Come away now, dog," or whatever its name was. And the dog went, "Fuck you, I'm getting my head stroked," and I put his front paws on the bench, and I stroked him some more.
Puppies.
And he kept looking back at me, like a lover leaving on a train.
I want to go with him, mummy.
I really wanted a puppy. I've never met a dog I couldn't befriend in seconds.
Yeah, puppies and chocolate.
Yeah, we've been over this.
It's cute.
And other things people don't generally carry around in their pockets, conveniently, in case Yahtzee's around.
Should try getting a house one day and getting yourself a puppy. I think it'd cheer you up immensely.
Well, my therapist did ask me why I never thought about just buying a house. And I didn't really have an answer for him. I just like, it just feels kind of real, you know? What if I buy a house and then decide I don't like it?
That is something you do too. Like, that is a genuine issue that you have to consider. It's the wrong color. It smells a bit funny in here.
Well, there's some things
tastes odd.
Some things you don't discover until you've been in it a while, like that it's vulnerable to having its window smashed in by large hailstones.
Well, I mean, a lot of windows are that.
Quite, but these ones are particularly exposed.
Yeah, well,
in that they make up most of the south-facing wall.
Don't buy a house in the Gap, because that basically gets destroyed every storm. You know, you can do research, you can find these things out.
Hey, we had a cyclone the other day in Queensland.
Yeah, more up north as per usual.
Marsha. Yeah, it was drifting down this way, but by the time it reached Brisbane, it was little more than a refreshing breeze upon our skin. We went, is that what all the fuss was about, you foolish northern coast people? And isn't it great to live in the city?
Where it doesn't get destroyed every season.
Well, it did last November, but never mind.
That hail was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, smashed most of the windows in my apartment building, actually. We had, like, the glaziers around, and it was, like, party season for them.
There are still places that haven't got their windows repaired, and you know that's just backlog.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do? I repair windows.
Yeah, I heard all the glaziers in town are backed up till March.
Wow. They must worship a hail god at this point.
Well, it couldn't hurt. What's going on in this game we're not talking about because it's boring?
Me punching the little wiggly bokers. They kind of look like tadpoles but with legs.
See, at least my games are fast moving. Well, I have a feeling that will come back to haunt us when we do Galaxy of Fantabulous Wonderment.
Well, the adventure games were kind of adventure-y paced. I wouldn't really ever say a point-and-click adventure is fast-paced.
Adventure pace is that the puzzle is immediately obvious because I couldn't be asked to create more than 2 or 3 rooms.
Or objects to interact with.
Yeah. So it's just...
Except for that weird fucking window one.
Yeah.
That was it.
Use hands on window in such a way
that
does not involve hands.
No.
What's your problem? As if it wasn't obvious. They threw me in here. I think his name was Montresor. Let's see who gets that.
No idea what you're on about.
Of course you don't.
What is it? I'm curious. What is it?
It's the cask of Amontillado.
Yeah.
Montresor seals Fortunado up in the recess in his basement.
Classic lit references.
For the love of God, Montresor! Yes, for the love of God. I love that story.
Love a lot of stories involve locking people in places.
Poe was really weird about being buried alive. He wrote about it all the time. He was obsessed.
It would be unpleasant.
Well, yeah, but there are worse ways. Of most cases, you'd just run out of oxygen and quietly go to sleep and die without pain if you were buried alive.
Yeah, but I'd say before the oxygen runs out, there'd be probably a solid 10 minutes of intense, shit-awful panic.
There'd be a bit of your survival instinct kicking in. That would
claw through.
But you'd be accepting by the end.
Fuck this room.
You probably wouldn't feel the same way if you were being hit by a bus, is my point. While you were lying in a twisted heap of splintered bone.
Bus wreckage, just...
Thinking, I'm gonna die in seconds and it really bloody hurts. I'm a very bitter pile of human right now.
My last words are, fuck you, Brisbane Public Transport.
Slime is dying. Okay, that was my token acknowledgement of the game.
He's kind of amoeba-y.
If you say so. Looks more like a flannel that learned to move by itself.
It does look kind of flannelly.
Maybe it's been used so much there's now too much life within the flannel in fungus form and that it's somehow gained the ability to move by itself.
Formed a hive mind and crawled off a bit like slime mold.
That's how it happens. Fantasy worlds come about because some people didn't clean their tea towels quickly enough.
Oh, if that were how it worked.
This is very far from the last of these identical purple monsters we'll be fighting, I'm sure.
Yes, it is. There are lots of these. Although later we find some grey ones that move quickly. Razzle dazzle.
We're almost at the hour mark. I'm gonna mark it like it's fucking New Year's.
Whee!
This is some quite rocky music for this fantasy world. I wonder if he was stealing midis from places as well.
The music's kind of weird because it'll sort of change haphazardly. Sometimes there's just this weird tone, the sort of dun on pianos.
Yeah.
It just starts, it's like dramatic music's gonna happen, and then it just goes fuck it and goes away.
That's probably because of MIDI compatibility.
I think they would have fixed that for the update. Yeah, fuck it.
It's just some systems, use different instruments for different MIDI whatever things. So what might sound one way on one computer might sound a different way on another computer.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I don't know that much about MIDI.
I didn't know that could do that. I remember fiddling with them back when he was like, do you
MIDI,
have a Tandy sound blaster? No,
MIDI used to be fairly primitive, and then they started making more and more sophisticated MIDI instruments. So why is this gold armor coming to kill us?
That's part of a quasi subplot that doesn't really manifest again. Like, it's sort of there, but it kind of fades away at the end with no real resolution.
The point I was groping towards earlier was that some games that used shitty early MIDI sort of relied on the shitty early MIDI sound to create a certain effects. And once they added better, more realistic sounding MIDI instruments, then they started to sound weird. There's this one MIDI sound you hear a lot that sounds like someone going oop.
What games are that in?
You can hear it in a few
Calls
things.
me Ballwood.
Well, that's not much worse than your actual name.
No, Ballwood's a step up, really.
Penis Tiny Cock, that's what your name is.
I'm Stumpy Smallwang, here to help.
I'm Willy Beamish. Oh, wait.
That's a real one.
I'm Willy Wonka. Oh, wait.
So Mr. Reused Graphics sends me on another thing.
Roald Dahl must have considered the fact that you can change one vowel in Willy Wonka to turn it into Willy Wanker.
Probably.
That must have crossed his mind. And he wasn't a dumb guy. He used to work in, military intelligence and stuff.
Basically, I have to get Acid Rain to get that guy out of the cave.
Of course you do.
I speak to the guy about getting Acid Rain, and he goes, "Oh, you're not high enough a level in order to learn Acid Rain."
You're not high enough. You're not high enough to appreciate Acid Rain.
No.
Well, let me take some acid, and then I will be high enough.
Run around in the rain. So, my magic has to be level 5 before I'm allowed to get Acid Rain. And that's just it. So this is... And it's another one of those things where it's that, this is gaming with an uncertainty element. What do you need? I need to level up. How do you do that? You just wander around, hopefully stumble across things, and... they do a few more of these kind of unnecessary gates with cash as well, where you just sort of have to find cash.
Yeah.
And the cash drops are random. So sometimes you get a really good drop, sometimes you get a shit drop, and it's just...
It's randomness in game mechanics again,
yeah,
isn't it?
It's wandering around, hoping for the best. I think at some point I just really rapidly stop giving a fuck and just go, okay, FAQ, where are the little magic potions around here? And
I must see the king at once, and you are Prick Minuscule Wang.
I like that one.
I'm just trying to mix it up.
Yeah, good. It's entertaining.
My name...
Giant castle.
My name is Johnson Embryonic Boner.
Embryonic.
That sounds like something else, actually.
Yeah. Wang vestigial cock.
Vestigial doesn't mean small, though.
Like that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it does. It means,
I'm bored.
One not being used. Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, that's a thing.
I'm
no,
bored
it isn't.
by this monster.
That's just a giant mushroom whose sprite is not reused anywhere else in the game, and there's a few other mushrooms like that.
It looks like an item of seating from the McDonald's kids' play area. Mirkwood Forest. That's using the World of Warcraft take 2 words and jam them together school of naming things. The Razor Tusk.
Wasn't that pretty much how things were named for ages? Isn't loads of British names of places kind of that?
Well, there's
isn't
a few...
Crowshaw like a hedge of crows or something?
Something like that, but there's a few degrees of separation. But literally everything that needs a name in World of Warcraft, it's always adjective noun. Or even just noun.
I'm Bootsford. Ugh!
Let's fight the Bollock Fang Crack Sniffers. Defeat 5 Bollock Fang Crack Sniffers to win the quest. That's a big bug.
Yeah.
It's big in the sense that they took the original sprite and put it in Photoshop and used the little stretch function, and that was the only thing they did.
Should we add anything? Maybe some red eyes or something? Nah.
At least have non-diagonal animations for the monsters that barely animate at all in the first place.
It's gonna pulsate
Those
around.
legs aren't moving, it's just pulsating.
Yeah.
Yay!
Every possible corner gets cut.
That's a handy potion to have.
Yeah, I now officially have some defense.
I'm sure they added more of those to when they realized the game wasn't going to be as long as they'd hoped.
Or just not as full. Like it's not as full. That's the problem. Is there's the game area is reasonably large. There's some interesting stuff that happens in it occasionally, but it is absolutely impossible to beat this game or to even level up meaningfully using only the EXP you get.
Yeah, I'd look at a map like that and assume that all the stuff that was blocked off was stuff we'd open up later.
Nope.
But apparently not.
You can kind of get to some of those locations. Like, there's a few little secret areas I get to later. But yeah, it's not. There's not gonna be any stunning reveal of like, oh, now you've got the magic sword. Here you go. Here's the game proper.
How many people did work on this game?
I can't remember the credits. I think it's like 4.
Yeah, it's not that many, is it?
No, it's kind of like one person did the programming, one person did some of the sprites, one person did the music.
We've seen what happens if one person attempts to do everything. And now we're seeing how much further we get with 2 more people.
Step up, some evolution.
Yes.
And me bumbling around trying to find more potions.
There's one! I found it for you.
Yay.
I'm helping.
We're both playing. Did your older brother ever try to convince you of that?
No. He just mainly sat on me.
It's like this Bogoni image in my head now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just parking himself on you.
Did you say Bogon?
Vogon.
Oh, right. I thought you were getting Bogan wrong.
No. Although there's 2 different spellings of Bogan, depending on...
I'm going to use Bogon as the name of a comedy alien species. They're going to be like strong and stupid.
Huh.
And they're going to call each other cants.
Huh.
Why did you fire a fireball at the darkness?
To see how quickly it regenerates now.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going up significantly faster now.
Now it is actually approaching useful.
Does the amount of damage it does go up?
No!
Right.
But the fact that you can, it's damage per second, the fact that you can actually thump, thump, thump and pelt them reasonably quickly sort of does make it...
I suppose.
Doesn't make them far more useful, and a couple of times activates the keyboard shortcuts.
So if this was Zelda, I'd be going, there is clearly a treasure immediately to the north.
It's not.
Oh, you lying trees.
Cheeky bugger.
Hey!
Yep, and then thank Christ magic's at level 5.
I wonder what magic potion tastes like.
I'm guessing purple Gatorade?
Don't smack your chops as you think about drinks.
I'm guessing purple Gatorade.
I imagine it's got a chalky aftertaste.
I'd say defense potion has a chalky aftertaste. I'd say it has a minerally content to it.
I'd say health potion has a sort of element of Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Sort of medicinal.
Not in a way that you'd drink it recreationally, but in a way that if you needed it would be really just perfectly exactly what you'd want.
Yeah, you just drink the whole bottle and you could feel it sort of dribbling through your insides like spackle, and it would feel gross, but it would be better afterwards.
It'd just be like, oh, thank God.
It'd go, ugh, but then you go, oh. I imagine that's what it would be like.
No more violent shits for me.
Now the farmer, who's either wearing a very wide hat or has a very small head and an Elizabethan collar. Now you have the crappy-looking rain spell.
Yeah. Acid rain. And I love, there's all these spaces for spells, and you get 4 spells. And one of them's not a spell. Although I am really tempted... Well, the game comes with, originally came with tools for you to make your own.
Yes, I remember that. It came with Dink Edit. There were a few, fan-made ones. Some of them sort of didn't get it and tried to tell, really serious stories, as I recall.
No,
And some of them would, went along with it. For some reason, I'm remembering, a Dink mod that was called The Search for Milli Vanilli.
I gotta look that up.
Where you had to you had to find the 2 members of Milli Vanilli that were represented just by their heads that just didn't have bodies, and you had to reunite them for a special Milli Vanilli concert and try to convince them that no one really cared that they only mimed their songs, People wanted the image and the fun
Wow,
of the experience.
that was somebody's labor of love. That is.
Actually, if memory serves, it was actually made by the guy, the original creator of the game, to sort of demonstrate his creation tools.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So I recommend, like, if you're a fan of these old Dink games, downloading the HD version, because it comes, like, it has a little thing you can go click and download new.
Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah.
I think you should have moved.
I couldn't. The hurt cycles in every occasion will keep going, even if you're locked and there's a story element going.
Oh,
and that nearly kills me at one point, and it scared the bejesus out of me.
That's some bad old design there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a much better solo developer than this guy.
Completely.
I'm gonna wave my E-peen.
Digital penis, have a look.
It will hypnotize you like a watch on a chain.
Drowsy penis crochet.
Not so fast! We need someone to pay for our gold armor. Gold is actually really shitty for armor, but...
Yeah. Hey, it's the most malleable metal around. It yields so easily to heavy metal hitting it.
We haven't played enough Minecraft to have understood this.
Those fools. Those foolish fools. I should have played more Minecraft.
Kick his ass, random dude. No, you're doing it wrong.
No. Ha ha ha.
No.
Ha ha ha.
No, not Fortunado. He was about to tell me whether I'd actually bought Amontillado or something else.
Yeah, because people are totally going to let a witness escape if they just promise. Because no one breaks promises. That's the code. Pinky swear.
Do you spell all right with one L and all one word? Or do you spell it as two words?
One L, one word.
Yeah, I do that as well. But sometimes editors have picked me up over that.
It's a little bit like a lot. Like, a lot is in the process of becoming one word.
Well, it shouldn't, because it's already one word. I will allot you something.
That's two L's.
Yeah.
Well, a lot with one L is in, I eat a lot.
I've never seen anyone try to bring across that into, like, one word.
No, it's in the process of happening.
Well, you hang around with twats if they're doing that.
That was something my grandma lecturer was talking about it. She was like, this is, you can watch these things happening to language in real time now. One of them is, a lot is becoming one word.
I think...
Thrice is on its way out, sadly, because I quite like thrice.
I think instead of saying, I ate a lot, they say, much ate wow. That's what they do these days. That's what the kids do.
You fucking millennials.
Yes. Reinvent language this.
With my fist up your memes.
You continue to fuck up. You are fucking up healthily.
No, I completely fireballed that one to death.
You are fucking up at a healthy rate for a young man. You fucked up again.
That was bullshit. That one should have hit. The sad thing is the fireball only hits one, whereas physical attacks can, like, lay into a...
See, this is like
the
fighting enemies in flashback thing, where their AI is so predictable that once you start rope-a-doping them, they all essentially start moving as one.
It's pretty much the only way to do some of the later fights.
See, that's where I like a slight element of randomness, where you have a number of different AI behaviors they could use, and, like, you could sort of randomly choose which one to go to next.
Yeah, no. The enemies just track once you annoy them, and unless, like, some of the human enemies will just track from straight away, but they will ignore obstacles.
Yeah.
And just bump into them repeatedly.
Yep, because pathfinding's hard, guys. It is actually quite hard.
I was gonna say, I will take your word for it, that sounds tricky.
I've never tried to do a proper pathfinding system. I've been meaning to sort of, like, try and teach myself that as a project.
Well, haven't your games been kind of 2D, like your actiony games?
Yeah, but there's never really been a point where pathfinding is needed.
No, well, that's my point.
I mean, pathfinding in an isometric game like this is pretty necessary.
As has been seen.
Yes. So the acid fountain hurts you as well, does it?
Yes. So, as I learnt when I nearly got murdered during a cutscene.
I think whoever taught you that must have seen you coming.
Does acid rain spell safe? Ah, yeah. That's fine. Just shoot it out.
Oi, I'm over here.
It doesn't care. These things mind their own business, and you just have to kill them for no earthly reason.
So, I'm guessing this is a scavenging life form that subsists on the mould that grows on dungeon floors.
Pretty much.
They're like whales. They're just scraping their baleen along the floor. Sucking particles in between the threads.
Gentle giants, really.
Ooh, they're like the Roomba as a monster.
That'll happen one day. We'll have like crazy biotech, and the Roomba will be like a fluffy, tribble-looking thing that scoots about.
Yes, and they'll turn evil and become an RPG monster, and we'll call them Groombas.
Doombas.
Goombas.
Hey, there we go. That's where they come from.
There you go.
We just came up with half the plot for the new Mario reboot.
Maybe the Roomba was named after the Goomba. It's a pun, because room. It vacuums the room.
Huh.
I don't know. Does anyone know the origin of the name Roomba? Is it a takeoff on Goomba? Because, of course, Goomba meant something before it was in Mario. It's sort of like an Italian-American slang word for...
A galoot.
Yeah.
Your thug back up. Must get 2 with acid rain. Yeah!
Nice. That guy did not learn.
They're not bright.
Not the most sophisticated intellects. If you smack your chops one more time, I'm gonna slap you.
My mouth wasn't even open, you cock. I was clearing my throat.
Yes, well, you made one at the start of your previous sentence, and I didn't acknowledge it for a brief moment, and I decided it was a mistake to not do so.
This from Captain screams about me coughing into the mic, and then coughs on me.
Yeah.
Like, you actually coughed material onto me.
I wasn't coughing onto the mic, though.
Yeah, but I'd say coughing onto the mic's better than coughing onto the human being sitting next to you.
Not.
You might have diseases, for all I know.
You've obviously never worked in radio.
Really? You haven't heard my drive time radio show?
Nothing worse than dead air. You will be shot if dead air is dead air.
Didn't we do dead air as a joke for the farming simulator?
We
maintained that for like nearly 4 minutes.
I think we established it pretty well beforehand as a joke, though.
Okay, yep, there it is.
What did you do?
Okay, because now that Fireball reloads quickly, Fireball's mapped to Shift. So I'm tapping Shift to kill the monster.
Oh, the sticky keys came up.
Yep.
Ha ha ha. Has anyone ever wanted sticky keys?
I don't know. Like, I'm kind of scared to turn it off in case there's a solar flare and mice just stop working or something.
I want to see the stats on that. How many times has sticky keys been activated intentionally?
I have...
I'm guessing never.
No, I have... You know, this is friend of mine stuff, but if I know a guy who says he knows a guy who uses mostly keyboard shit, barely uses the mouse.
Huh.
And the person he's talking... I have met the person that he's talking about, and I sort of believe just based on that.
Do they have only one hand?
No.
Well then, I don't see the point in sticky keys.
I've seen, like, in fighting games, everyone uses the sticks. I've seen people play fighting games using the controller, using that old-fashioned overhand claw style that you used to see kids use.
I've seen people play Dark Souls with a Guitar Hero controller. I've seen them play Mario with their feet.
Yeah, I saw that. Guitar Hero controller. Why? Didn't they beat that with the Guitar Hero?
They could only, like, use half the controls of the game.
Why?
Because they could show that they had done. It's like, why climb Everest? Because it's there.
But this isn't like Everest. This is like building a whole spare mountain out of like glass shards and used needles.
Doesn't that make it all the more noble?
I climbed the pointless mountain I just built.
I mean, to do something knowing that it's completely pointless and that no one will care, and those who do care will think you're insane.
Life in general, really.
Maybe the world would be a better place if we all did that kind of thing, just in the name of improving some mad skill set.
Climb your mountain. Climb it today.
And my mountain is this video right now. Jesus Christ. At least we're nearly halfway.
Yeah, we're only an hour and 45 minutes to go. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and look what just happened. We punched a bug in a field.
I don't know, shot a fireball at it.
I got nothing.
Well, I don't even know why we're doing this, to be honest. I was more entertained by doing your games.
Well, I wanted
but you decided there has to be like a fucking gap in the middle.
I just would like to mix things up. I felt it would be too egotistical to do nothing but ego review for months. Anyway, I don't want to let you off the hook. of having to
What?
record
Oh.
things.
I don't know the hook of me having to sit down and...
I'm desperately trying to program a work ethic into you for the sake of your future students.
I'm a university student, you dumb fuck. I have a
Exact-
work ethic.
Oh, and he said that without irony, people.
Says the person with a fucking year 10 education.
Yeah, and look how well it did me. Anyway, kill those babies. I hate children.
No, there's the weird example of these never pop up again.
And the screen's locked for some reason.
Yeah,
That was weird. I wonder if there was more planned for that, but things were cut.
the game's full of that. That's this game in a nutshell. It's like
But the
we had a
quest
bigger
was-
idea and we sort of nipped it down.
Hey, here, bold hero, I've got a side quest for you. I feel slightly threatened by 2 infants.
This is basically destroying
far-
the bug's home.
Far away from me. Okay, it's a cult.
What gave you that idea?
I can see. I'm just picturing the guy going through the art assets he's made for the game, saying, "What would be something we could pass off as something that a cult would worship?"
Dead dragon carcass. That's a stupid idea, Dwayne. Wait, no, we'll make it a joke. Genius idea, Dwayne.
Hey, who's that guy?
He's the
He must-
leader of the dead dragon,
Is he the school teacher?
Yeah.
This is their field trip.
Bishop Nelson.
Oh, is he with the church?
Yeah, this is where Nadine's got to.
Oh, he's a bishop and he's got a surprise for the little girls. My mind went immediately to the bad place. I don't want to go to the bad place game. They beat me there.
I don't believe you. There's a portion of your brain that's just there always. Paging Mr. Lester. This isn't a rapey bishop anyway. This is just a dark and evil bishop. Good old, just a vintage dark and evil bishop.
Yeah, it's the whole Wicker Man thing.
Yeah, just
He's-
murder.
It's
not rape.
Christopher Lee in the Wicker Man.
Did you hear that movie is getting a sequel by the original writer or something? I think
Well,
it's actually going to
which
be an
movie
official...
are they sequeling? The Edward Woodward one or
Yeah,
the
Edward Woodward
Nicolas
one.
Cage one?
No, not the Nicolas Cage one.
Well, that'll confuse things.
The Nicolas Cage one's a masterpiece for other reasons.
Transform into same monster we've killed several times today.
Yeah.
Transform.
Okay, now, behold the glory. Come on, Acid Rain. We can do
yes,
this.
I see where this is going.
In Warcraft 40k, or Warhammer 40k, this is what you call the meat pile. Yeah, they just hit each other.
Oh, you
as
don't
well.
even have to acid rain them. Now they're effectively one monster.
Yeah. It's where you clump everybody into a meat pile, and then someone hits you with ordnance.
Now
and you just
Nelson's
get a template.
gonna turn into a column.
No, he's gonna turn into something else, which is even slower.
Is it the same monster with a different colour?
No!
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
It's another thing that only has diagonal animations, because that's
Yeah.
easy to flip left to right.
So we can just waddle back and forth. Look how slow it is.
Be with you in a moment, hideous monster.
Yeah, this is where I learned that Acid Rain's not gonna cut it for this fight.
Shit!
On the plus side, though, look how it's moving.
Yeah, it's not the most expedient of monsters.
No. That's where I'm clipping the top of the...
Just because it's really hard to walk with these things on my front four legs.
Please end me.
Still, I do a great trick involving kebab meat.
Looks a little bit like one of Godzilla's nemesis.
That's a thrashy tail he's got.
Whose name I can't... Ow!
Ow!
See, and look at that for hit detection. Like,
He
I was
hit less hard.
miles away from
He
it.
hit less hard than your evil stepdad.
Yeah, I actually have defense at this point, though. So I have
You have
a whole
one
point.
defense.
Yeah.
Yes, a whole point of defense.
I can now take one whole hit. So, the heroic name of Dink Smallwood begins to grow.
You should have said you were her worst nightmare. Back to the green
that'd be
lady.
Nice, yeah.
Why, penis? What are you doing here? Just delivering pizzas, Mom. Although I see you don't have the cash to pay me.
Hot.
Perhaps we could work out some arrangement.
Hot pizzas and daughters.
Oh, Mary, you are home. This man saved me from some naughty people. Let's jump up and down in glee. Thank you, thank you. Although I guess it's unfair to put on a silly voice to mock the dialogue. I mean, the best actors...
Well, we were doing that to your game, so...
The best actors can make any line work.
Alright, well that can be a challenge now for some fun. You can...
Well, I say that, but...
some of the asinine dialogue and spruce it.
I mean, I think Ewan McGregor's a pretty good actor, but he couldn't save the Star Wars prequels, could he?
Oh, lordy. So close.
And Christopher Lee, Jesus.
Yeah.
He was in that. Samuel L. Jackson. He's
for
like...
no reason.
He's like the line delivery emperor. Although I say that, he mainly just shouts a lot.
He does have a solid, kind of shout, though. I think one of my favorite Samuel L. Jackson lines is in The Long Kiss Goodnight, which, wait, is that the one I'm thinking of?
That one dropped a big heart.
Yeah, I'm desperate for money and nothing's dropping cash.
Shit.
just so fucking depressing.
Is there nothing you can do?
Or it's The Last Kiss Goodnight. I think it might be The Last Kiss. It's the one with Gina Davis in it. And Gina Davis has finally unlocked as a murderer.
The Long Hard Goodbye?
No, that's an old noir film.
The Long Walk Home?
I don't know that one.
The Long...
It has Gina Davis as a deprogrammed...
The Long John Silver?
Sure. But at one point, Gina Davis is about to pull off Samuel L. Jackson's, the things covering the wounds on him.
I'd pull off Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, why not? And she flashes him her tits before she does it. And he just goes, "What the hell did you do that for?" And she goes, "What, you never bite a virgin's ear just before you penetrate her?" And Samuel L. Jackson, without blinking, just goes, "Nah, just sock her in the jaw and yell, 'Pop goes the weasel.'" And I don't believe that line was written. I think it was just, just improvise something, Sam. Use something from your past. Because I think this was when he was still on the drugs.
I don't think you'd be able to keep filming after that. I think it'd be like Full Metal Jacket, where Stanley Kubrick had to call Ali Ermey over and ask him what a reach around was.
Oh, I love that story. That's one of my favorite stories in film.
Yeah.
What is this? Well, he's a human we hired as the fucking advisor.
It's even more extraordinary considering what a perfectionist Kubrick was.
Yeah.
That he let Ali Ermey improvise a lot of that dialogue.
That's that movie, though. No one remembers the second half, really.
Jesus Christ, you can hit monsters with a sword now!
Yeah. Now, would you think that this would give me increased range and maybe a better shot at stabbing and running away?
Yes, I would.
Well, you're a fucking moron.
I know. I eat my own snot.
Yeah, and you put on a hat at a funny angle and go bib, bib, bib. Because I hit like I'm petting a cat with it and don't want to accidentally bump it with the sharp bit.
It seems particularly difficult to tell when you're hitting something directly north of you.
It is fucking horrendous, and
pretty much everything crawls along the ground in this game.
Yeah, no, there's no extra range to it whatsoever, as I tragically discover.
Are we not getting our bone on yet?
No, there's no bone on really at all. The kind of... because it did feel like it was angling for that subplot, that teenage, sex romp subplot of I want to have the sex, but that never materializes or matters in the end.
Yeah. Kind of like that sort of thing they used to do in Cowboy Bebop, where every single week they're short on money, but they never seem to, starve to death or anything.
There was that one episode where they were almost... It really was just about them being desperate for food, and they kind of meet Radical Edward's dad again, who for some reason is...
I don't remember Cowboy Bebop as much as you clearly do.
I rewatched it recently.
Of course you did. Because you're a university student and you watch anime all day being funded by my taxes. Weep. I hope you drug yourself to death, you filthy long-haired shit.
I'm gonna spend my welfare on the heroin. Or the meth, or whatever it is. They're killing themselves with these days.
No, it's twat features.
Yep.
He's going to belittle you like you belittle women.
I'm not a penguin. Shut up.
I'm gonna take a break, boss. Shut up. You're ignoring
I like
this.
There's this other conversation.
That's realism.
I'm tired. Every bar.
Tom, what a loser. I'm judgmental.
Yeah. As a person who never eats, I mock those who produce food.
Can you not see my mighty sword?
Yeah. Literally waving it around back and forth right now. I hit the waitress with it. How fucking more manly do you need to...
I think we're being hit upon.
No, this is one of those cruel zingers.
See, that's one of those cases where a funny line only works because someone asks a question that no one would ever ask.
Yeah.
Like someone said, "I'll get you a drink." You'd say, "Great, mine's a half." You don't say, "What drink would that be, Mr. Comedian?"
Especially if they've just spent the last 5 minutes insulting you.
Yes.
You're a dick. Hey, would you like this treat? Yeah! Sounds great. I love that. What is it? Oh, it's a knuckle sandwich. Oh, those aren't tasty.
Yes. Continue to elaborate.
There was a thing that the dead shits in my school used to do called What's Up Here, where they just pull their fist up their jumper sleeve and hold it over a kid and go, "Hey, what's up here?"
I used to do that with my dog. Well, I'd hold my fist over his head and he was convinced there'd be a biscuit in it every time.
And you'd actually hit him?
Then I'd open my hand and his jaw would flap reflexively to catch it, but there was nothing there. And then I'd feel like a shit and go and get him a real biscuit.
Really, he was playing you.
Yeah.
If I do this, he'll go get me a fucking treat.
There's just that look in his eye like his whole world had crumbled down the moment my hand opened.
That's the treat. There's no treat. How do you do this?
My God. But wait, a treat came later. I don't understand anymore.
Teaching him a very strange series of behaviors.
Probably why he was so neurotic thinking about it.
Yahtzee Croshaw torturing more dogs than the Greyhound
Well,
industry.
he was already pretty neurotic. He was a rescue dog. We got him when he was a year old.
So did he have some, like, weird fear?
Well, he was very comfortable around my mum, but he was always a little bit anxious around men. We assumed he might have been mistreated in the past.
Probably. It's usually the case with rescue dogs, tragically, but at least they get rescued and then have a happier life.
Yeah.
At least the worst Denny had to put up with was your bizarre treat rigmarole.
Yes, the biscuit ritual.
It's a strange ritual, but on the plus side, I don't get punched. And hey, biscuits.
Yes.
Hey, buddy. Want to buy some magic?
Okay, this is getting homoerotic so all of a sudden.
No, it isn't. That's just you.
Well, I only just tuned into the dialogue.
And you need to either get the gay out of your system or more into your system.
Is that
It's
an
just-
offer?
It's just
We know
this
what you
halfway-
university students are like. You with your experimental phases.
Yeah, with hedonism. I'm in my experimental early 30s.
It's up here. It's up here. In my butt.
Just near the prostate.
Oh no,
Or the left.
Oh no, we're helping a thief.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh no.
And have you noticed the safes are just a shrunken door graphic?
I noticed, I was going to mention earlier,
I didn't
that
know there
this
were
game,
safes at first.
this game's been going back and forth between the correct spelling of all right as all one word, and the incorrect spelling with two L's.
Huh.
Oh, they're kicking each other's ass. Yeah, see, the hitbox on that axe swing,
Is
there's absolutely no way to predict that.
no. It is absolute fucking batch. Like the first interaction with any new monster is, okie dokie, where's the active frame of this hit?
Bloody pre-rendered isometric.
And it is
Rendered 3D models on a pre-rendered backdrop. Not good enough for you, eh?
huh?
Like Alone in the Dark or Grim Fandango.
I've been playing through Grim Fandango again.
Wait, that guy could easily dob us in immediately.
Well, he didn't see us kill the guards though, so
Right.
now I'm just a random terrible person again. For some reason, you had to do that to get something to activate. Like now I can move on to the sort of the next little
Oh, I
quest.
see. It's arbitrary check flags. It's Curse of Enchantia again.
Oh, there's, you know...
You picked up a rock. That means there is now a tortoise that will carry you to fancy fairyland. This is the logic we have assembled from the logic we had before it was broken and smashed and used as toilet paper.
I couldn't make a game that fucking bafflingly illogical if I tried. Like, common sense would just creep in and be like, oh, okay. And then,
Well,
then you use the phone to call Jesus. Wait, that's what a phone's used for. Shit.
Well, like I said at the time, it seems like they just made the art assets first and then try to figure it all out later.
That'd make for a fun game challenge. Like, just, here's art assets. Now you gotta make a game where some of this makes sense.
That sounds like most RPG Maker games. Heyo!
Nyah, nyah, nyah.
Hope you like sprites reminiscent of the sprites from Final Fantasy 3. Or 6.
If you do, Boy howdy.
Do you feel uneasy about saying Final Fantasy 3 and then immediately have to clarify also 6? I do sometimes.
Was there 3 ones that weren't released? Still?
No,
I can't remember
stupid. There was Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 on the NES. But when it switched to the SNES, they started again, but then later re-acknowledged that there had been 3 before. So Final Fantasy 4...
Is Final Fantasy...
Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6 were originally just Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 on the SNES. In America. And then Final Fantasy 7 came out, and that was just Final Fantasy 7.
Okie dokie. That's...
Hey, Gabriel's checking the FAQ again!
Yeah.